Hello everyone! The Haani Moon Podcast will feature conversation with people who have accomplished notable feats. This month we'll have a conversation with the animesketch subreddit owner, Elleran. Oh, it looks like Elleran might be late to this podcast, but he did send me a visual novel for us to go through. What is this? Let's check it out. Let's check out what he made for us before we start the stream today, huh? Welcome, welcome. Okay, let's go through this. The cool air of the city night keeps you company as you stroll along the park nearby. Up ahead is a small pond, its shimmering surface mixed with the flickering light of a city and countless constellation above, is divided by a long wooden bridge spanning through the center. You were told that the spokesperson for the guests will be here, and there she was, sitting on the bench by the pond. She sees you coming and stands up for a proper greeting. Oh, hello there. Her eye contact is only momentary as it breaks with a slight blush. She plays with the end of her long golden blonde hair. You must be JueriHaan. You nod to confirm that you are indeed the mythical moon bunny. She claps her hand together in excitement. Under the moonlight, you can see her gentle smile as she leans towards you. Aha, I knew it! He said I wouldn't miss such a cute outfit from the crowd. How could you, Alicia? She suddenly grins. So, I guess we should continue where we left off last time. Eh? What's this girl saying? The trip to New York City was really nice, wasn't it? We got to see some really cool guests like the mangaka for the popular manga Dr. Then we got to see the illustrator for the famous light novel for the series. Real-time live drawing sessions from famous Japanese artists? That was amazing! I know it's a bit hyper then, but it's because I was so happy. I love meeting with friends after all. You guys were such good company. Ooh. But about your question... I don't know I can give you a proper response right now since, you know, we just met each other for the first time now. And I can't say that I'm ready for such commitment, but you know, I think I have some experience to help out with the housework. Not that we need to be doing housework together anytime soon. I mean, sorry, I am getting ahead of myself. You can ignore everything I just said. Oh, hey, wait. What's up with this atmosphere? Did I load up the wrong intro? This feels more like a dating sim than a visual novel, or... what? You quickly double check your file and yeah, you see, this is the file he gave me. To your dismay, this is indeed the intended file that Elleran has sent you. This isn't the kind of intro that I was warned about. The girl takes a deep breath and claps herself on her cheeks. Let's do this in order. I haven't even introduced myself. I'm Alicia. I'm here because Elleran told me that someone will come looking for him and that I should go greet him first. You wonder who she's talking to since you've known her for as long as you've known Elleran. He told me that I should act the scene where I give the long-awaited response to your confession. I didn't agree to a confession, but okay. Even though we're both girls, I don't think that's a bad thing. No, everything about this is kinda wrong. Elleran's up to no good. He's just trying to dodge responsibility and keep me distracted with this cringe awkward intro scene. Huh? No way. I even delayed the interview for the original time by a few hours just to help accommodate to his stupid schedule. Tell him that he's late and he needs to show up right now. Or else I'm gonna have to really tell him how I feel. You crack your knuckles and brandish your mochi powder to show that you're serious about the threat. The hammer's worn handle and numerous battle scars affirm that it has been through countless foes, undoubtedly ground to dust, but underneath is unrelenting mauling. No more words were needed. Alicia nods. I'll let him know. Though he'll probably send me again anyway. I'll see you soon, bunny girl. Yeah. She waves and takes off, leaving you to wonder what even the point of the sequence of scenes was. Alas, it's time to start the podcast. Da-da-da-da. Oh, Loki! Elleran, are you there? Hello? Oh yeah, guys, heads up. Elleran is on a business travel of sorts, so his mic is gonna be from his phone. Hello, Elleran. Test.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Welcome everyone to the Haani Moon Podcast second episode. Today, guests, we are featuring Elleran here with his OC Alicia. As you can see,
Hello.
he's represented by a young, pretty, blonde-haired girl. Why don't you introduce yourself a little bit here?
Wow. All right. Thanks for having me here.
Hey, no worries.
I was supposed to introduce myself.
Introduce yourself. Name, what you're known for, height, age. Are you single?
Okay. There's some loaded questions here.
What?
So, yeah. Hello, everyone. This is Elleran. I know Jueri from drawing communities. I think she got to know me because she joined a community that I moderate called animesketch. It started off as a subreddit, but now it's a very active Discord server. I think how many people does it have? I haven't
Discord
checked the
server?
statistics.
You don't even know? I thought you have a stat on that. I think it's... Last time I checked was about 10,000 or so. Honestly,
10,000?
it might be more. It probably closer to like 30,000 in the Discord by itself.
Okay, well, it's grown quite a bit. I've been here for a while, so I lose track. But yeah, I've been managing community since when 2013, I think. I think I became a moderator in 2014, so it's been 9 years now. But yeah, I'm involved in that, and so that's where I met Jueri. I think I met you about 5 years ago.
Oh, I can't do math too well. I think I joined the Discord server / subreddit 2018, early 2018. I remember exactly because it was the start of a new semester, and that was when I decided, I'm going to join art community because there's not much here for me on my own campus at the time, at least.
Good. Yeah, I think we'll cover this later, but I think a lot of people felt that way. I think back when COVID hit, the number of members exploded. But I think we'll get there when we talk about it.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna show this on screen for everyone here. But when I joined the subreddit / Discord, it was around 10k at the time. I found the animesketch subreddit through Googling basically anime drawing server or something, and that was when I found the subreddit was associated with it. See, only 10,000 people. I felt kind of special back then because it was a good size. 10,000 sounds like a lot, but it's not a lot of people in my opinion. And of course, compare that to Elleran. He joined August 2013 when there's only 1,700 people. That's... my high school had way more people than this subreddit at the time.
Not gonna lie, I thought the members were more than this when I joined. I thought it was at least 10,000, but apparently not.
As we'll go into more details, we find that animesketch wasn't always a subreddit. Is that correct? Or did it move from...
You mean...
Because I remember there was a Google Hangout, right? Or is that like a subset of the...
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay. I got you.
We can talk about the history. Okay, so I joined, I think, around August 2013, like you pointed out. I think starting around December or November of 2013, I think some people wanted to just meet up online and just hang out. So they started using Google Hangout. I know, Discord didn't exist. It wasn't invented yet. So people started doing that. Yeah, Google Hangout was pretty cool, but it had a limit of 10 people. So what happened is some people...
Let's see, so when Discord wasn't around, Discord came in around 2016, I believe. This small subreddit decided to do their hangout through Google Hangout, which only actually limited itself to about 10 people, I believe. As we could see on screen as well, the current membership is like 1.4 million people. I said 1.5, but it's not totally clickbait. If you go to the subreddit itself, it'll say 1.5, so... That is
it's giving me the
crazy. What do you attribute the boom to, like this rise in influx of members?
I'm gonna say that it's probably COVID.
Totally.
As you can see, I think the exponential growth I think starts around somewhere between 2020 and 2021. So I assume that's when COVID hit. Like a few months after COVID, I think that's when it started exploding.
Honestly,
2020. Okay, yeah. I thought 2019 was amazing.
Personally, for me, during my time in COVID, I felt like I took advantage of the things that I wanted to do and got to do it for myself. You know, I got to try out new hobbies for myself, got into skincare, makeup, all that jazz. So seeing that sort of exponential growth coming from that time in COVID with everyone joining in, I think was pretty reasonable. What are some things that you were doing during COVID that you think you wouldn't be able to do if not for that sort of opportunity?
Well, when COVID hit, I was working, so when COVID hit, I couldn't work anymore. At least temporarily, and then I started working again. So
only temporarily? Did you pick up new hobbies during that time?
Not really. I think I went back to working pretty quickly, but it's not like I had like a whole year. It's not like I didn't work at home or anything. Unfortunately, I'm jealous of all those work from home people.
Oh, I see. Yeah, your job is a little bit more in person, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm gonna just take a quick look at the chat here. If you would like to say hello to Elleran, please say hello to him right here. I'm also gonna welcome people here as well. Welcome Bino, thank you so much for popping by. Welcome Tony. Hello Jade. Hello Pog. Hello Sunshine, lovely. Hello Neil. And hello Danny. Loser. You know Loser? We have Frosted Times, El Chile, hello. Mr. Chris, hello. We got a couple Elleran in chat going for you.
Elleran.
Hello for Genius. Welcome. Okay, so animesketch 1.5 million members. What are the pros and cons of this influx of members? Is it difficult to manage so many people? What are some strategies you might have used to sort of manage it all?
So the funny thing is, I didn't know that the population became so big until someone pointed out to me. I think last time I checked it, like before someone told me, it was probably within maybe like 100,000 or something.
Oh, 100,000.
I was like, oh, man, it's like 100. Yeah, it was like 130,000. Oh, it's a big deal. And then I stopped looking at it for a while, and then someone's like, oh, hey, by the way, it has like hundreds of thousands of people now. I'm like, no way. What are you talking about? And then I checked it, it was huge.
Yeah, I remember, because I'm so used to knowing it as a place that only had 10,000 members, but then one day I saw it was like 100,000. Like, oh, that's pretty neat. Then exponential growth happened, and I think it's very interesting to see that happen with a place I'm familiar with at the time. Yeah.
I think
oh, you can go.
Okay, so part of the question you asked was whether it changed anything about the moderation. I don't think it did, honestly. I think the subreddit is pretty slow.
Oh, really?
So even though, yeah, okay, I can talk about what I exactly do so that people know how much effort it takes.
Okay.
How little effort it takes.
Yes, you can list your responsibilities.
Yeah, well, it's just mostly checking to make sure that there aren't indecent content being posted. As you can imagine, just like the anime style art in general, I think is prone to having a lot of fan servicey, not safe for work stuff being posted.
Yeah, managing not safe for work and safe for work is a big responsibility, because each community has a different guideline regarding it, especially in the anime community, right?
Yeah, I think a lot of people are desensitized to what actually is not safe for work and what isn't. So it's very common for you to run into a very unpopular decision or ruling. So that there's a lot of controversy regarding that.
Yeah. If you guys are curious about animesketch subreddit, you're free to click on the link in the description box and see what it looks like for yourself. Okay, I'm curious about something, right? This place is huge, and I think most of the time people are more active in the Discord server since it's more close-knit. Does the success of your art communities directly benefit you?
Me as in like, are you talking about like personal gains?
Yes. I don't mean it in a more like, and I don't mean it like a negative sense, but like let's say you have a project, you can probably advertise it a lot easier compared to others, you know, because you have this sort of community of sorts for yourself.
The thing with being a moderator like that isn't that it's not like you have some kind of political or personal power because you have more members in the subreddit. It's not like you go around being like, oh yeah, I manage like 1.5 million member community. Because it's not like a celebrity where you have a lot of fans that listen to you and are perhaps you have a parasocial relationship with the person.
I
a lot of
guess
people
so.
in the community who know me. So like for example, if I went over and then post something random, it's not like I get more. It's because I'm the moderator and people know me. It's not like that. So in terms of personal gain, I think like the only actual tangible gain I think was back when Discord was when Discord sort of became a thing. I think they had the partnership program.
Mm-hmm.
I had partnership for the server. This was before it got revamped recently. But back then, like several years ago, the partnership program gave free nitro to the person who
was
it. So for a little bit, I had nitro for free. But yeah, but we're not partnered anymore. We decided not to.
Okay, did you guys hear that? So he personally doesn't feel any benefit having so many people in his subreddit and also Discord, mainly because it's not really playing on the parasocial aspect that some content creation communities might run on. And the only benefit he really saw was the fact that he got free nitro for being a partner server for Discord. Is that correct?
Tangible gains, yes. Tangible gains.
I mean, I'm down for some free nitro, you know. Save like $5 a month or so.
Yeah, I think a bigger thing is that because you're a part of the community for so long, I think you just make a lot more connection. So besides just being a moderator, I guess, just being the server, people recognizing you and you seeing so many faces come in and out, it's you get to build a lot of connection, you get to meet a lot more people. Even after they leave the server, you might still talk to them in other servers. You see a lot of cliques being made and being disbanded. You also have to go through a lot of drama.
Yeah, I understand. Is there like a notable, like any notable members of people in the community?
You might know certain Gabe that was doing the interview with you last time.
Gabe previous podcast.
Yeah, I've met Gabe in person before, and he was one of the. I think he was one of the people who actually was active in the subreddit for a while. I think I used to hold a lot of events there. I organized them, and then I think Gabe was actually one of the participants for some of them, even on the subreddit. So that was years and years ago.
Animesketch is a very interesting place. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I did a collab with Gabe before, actually. I don't know if you talked about it. I don't think he did.
Oh, no, he didn't get to mention it. No, sorry, Elleran.
Okay, it's okay. But okay, besides that, I think other notable people that passed by, I think well, okay, see, naming all famous people that's been here isn't really related to me particularly. It's cool that they were here at some point, but it's like, you know, like those restaurants when you go in there, they have these photos sometimes when celebrities come to the restaurant, so they just take pictures and hang it up.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that.
I mean, it's so cool though.
Yeah, it is. You guys know Yueko, I think. She's a very popular artist, I think.
During my time in animesketch, she came in briefly. Someone's like, "Oh my god, I subscribed to your Patreon," and that was the only interaction. Or I just watched from the outside. Yueko in the it's so random. I feel like she could have made her own art community. You know, Yueko.
Well, she wasn't big back then.
No, she was pretty decently sized. Cause she came in like after a long break from the server. And there's also another person too. There was Senior Grafo or something. He's well known around Reddit, but I don't know if anyone else knows him. Oh, let's see. Did you make animesketch? I think that's something we need to clarify for people on stream.
Oh, no, I didn't make it. What happened was I think I joined in 2013, and I became a mod in 2014. Okay, I guess I should talk about the history. Yeah, let me talk about my history with community. Yeah, so I joined around August 2013. The first Google Hangout happened, I think, in November 2013, and then I joined it for the first time in December, and I actually got weirded out first time I joined an online community. And then, so I left, and I didn't come back until January.
Oh my god.
And then that's when I became a more regular member. In terms of moderation, I think back in 2014, the moderator who was active back then, I think her name was Missy Pie. She was a moderator for r/anime for a while too, so I don't know if people would recognize her. I think the
r/anime is pretty big.
Yeah, the bot that r/anime uses, that mascot was drawn by Missy Pie.
Oh,
who was also moderating animesketch. So she was the active one when I was joining, when I first joined this community, and then in 2014 they were looking for new mods, and I think Missy Pie actually just PM'd me directly and asked me if I wanted to be a mod, because before that I was pretty active in the community, and so I said yes. That's how I became a mod. They picked a couple of other people too. I don't know if anyone remembers Arcazane. He was a mod for a bit.
See, I see. You started as a mod. Then when did you start to actually own the server?
So Mystify is not the creator of the server. It was actually created by a company named NanoServe.
What is it?
NanoServe, it's spelled NANO. SYRV.
Oh, NanoServe? Okay, NanoServe?
Yeah. I don't think he's a significant person because I don't think even when I joined, he wasn't active.
I see.
I think he was active before I joined, like back when the subreddit was first made. But when I joined, Mystify was the only active one.
So when did you become the owner? That's what we're trying to get here, Elleran.
Yeah. So eventually, I was the most active moderator, and eventually, Mystify started becoming more inactive. I think she started doing other stuff. I think she eventually became r/anime's moderator, so she got busy with it too. So after a while, I was the only active mod, and then I had to find new people to help me. And so eventually, Mystify just kind of dropped out. NanoServe's been gone for a long time, so I just PM'd him. I PM'd NanoServe at that point. I was like, hey, like, you're inactive, so like, give me the subreddit.
Oh my god, you asked for the subreddit? You weren't even given to it. You were just demanding subreddit to be handed over to you.
Yeah. It wasn't exactly like that, but I was basically like, hey, you're the head, but like, you're not really doing anything. You, like, just give it to me, like, I'll take care of it. And he said yes. He actually responded pretty quickly.
Oh, I see.
Which means that, yeah, it's not like he became inactive in online. He just wasn't just wasn't a moderator.
Okay. I'm gonna go quickly change the topic here just real quick. But your very first comment and post, I did some research on you, okay, on your social media. Went so far back on this. I respect it a lot though, because I went through your Reddit history account and you actually hosted many events. I actually kind of admire it that you're helping people be encouraged to draw and take part and be active with each other. I saw a lot of albums and stuff with people's art in it, so I can see why you are like, they're okay with giving you the server, you know. But your very first comment art right here is on screen. See, you can see it. I was really surprised. It said 10 years ago. I was like, 10 years ago? What year was that? 10 years ago, it was 2013 on a warm August Sunday afternoon, late afternoon. And here we have the comment. Just found the subreddit today. Have seen some wonderful art here. I'm hoping for useful tips, suggestions, critiques. P.S. I use Paint Tool Sai. I don't know if it's relevant. I don't mean to like bring you down or anything. We'll show you your best art later on, you guys. So don't take this as for his art skill currently. We will show you guys his art for a different topic. But yeah, you know, this is a piece of history. I read this, I'm thinking I could never see this guy as being like the owner of the entire subreddit. I feel like to some degree, do you feel like a pressure to have good art as like the owner?
I think so. I wonder about that because there are other subreddits like anime art that has, I don't know if the moderators there are artists themselves. So in terms of me personally, I think it's good to have the skills. I don't feel like there's a pressure to be the best or anything because, like I say, it's not a community centered around me. It's a community server, so I don't mind not being the best, but I do feel pressure that hey, I should probably show that I am in fact an artist and not.
No, you're fine. I don't think anyone's hard on you, whether or not your art is good. You know, despite being the owner of both the subreddit and Discord, don't worry about it. I can attest as one of the members.
Thank you. Please forgive.
It's okay. It's okay. What's the general audience like? What's the general age of the audience, demeanor, even, or skill level? How would you describe it for people who may not be familiar with the community? So
I should clarify. Yeah, I should clarify that at this point, Discord and the subreddit are quite different communities. I think the subreddit is filled with what most people would call typical redditors.
Oh, really?
It's like more like younger, inexperienced. They're very opinionated. Sometimes there are some really uncivil things being said, like there are insults being hurled or giving critiques to artists that didn't ask for it. So as part of being moderator, sometimes you see those and then, or you get reports, so you have to shut those down, ban people, remove the comments, things like that. But that's the subreddit. So I would describe the subreddit as like typical redditor, opinionated, loud. But the Discord server, so the way you go from the subreddit to the Discord server is that there's a link in the subreddit you can click, and that's I think how a lot of people find the Discord server. But the Discord server has a really annoying system of actually getting in.
Oh,
you have
true.
to read the rules yeah. So you have to read the rules and find the code in there, and so it forces people to actually read the rules instead of just, I don't know, just joining.
Yeah. So I'll explain this to the chat, but the anime sketch subreddit, you know, has so many people in it. Anyone could post it there. I kind of find that the general age group is really young, actually. Despite that being the case, I feel like some people posted like not safe for work art there, or like even traced art there. So definitely a younger audience. But Discord, it has a more mature audience with people, you know, with a day job in their 20s to early 30s, around that age range. And it's partly because they added a rule to Discord and they have to insert a password that's hidden within the rules. I think that's super clever. Do you think that was like a large success in part due to
Yeah.
to the current set of people in your subreddit or your Discord?
Yeah, definitely. I think one of the biggest reasons why we did that was to protect ourselves from just brigades or like bots. Because sometimes people make bot accounts to join to spam stuff.
Oh.
The only time that ever happens now is when existing accounts get hacked.
Oh yeah,
And
that's true.
I'm sure everyone's covered those. Yeah, where like suddenly every single channel gets posted by a guy. I get pinged when that happens.
Oh.
People ping me. They're like, "Hey, Elleran, there's a guy, and it's he's out of control. I think he's a bot. He got hacked." So I gotta delete those. So yeah,
Oh, sorry.
yeah. Oh, okay, I was gonna finish answering the question about the community. So yeah, like you mentioned, Discord community is definitely older. I think you're right. I think most of the people are 20s and 30s, usually in college or have graduated and has a job and or looking for it. And I think more interestingly, it looks like there's a lot of Southeast Asians and like Europeans in the Discord server. I think the majority is American, but there are actually a lot of people who are outside. Like a lot of the regulars are from. There's a person from New Zealand. We've had people from Australia. A lot of people from Thailand, Philippines, Indonesia area. There's some Europeans like French, UK. I've known at least one person from Germany, Switzerland. A couple people from Norway, which a lot of them actually met up with before too. Yeah, it's a global community. Asian Pacific, yeah, like Philippines, Indonesia. I don't know if you consider those to be Southeast Asia or Pacific. In between.
In terms of like what makes a good and bad community, is there something you can wish for that if you can wish for one thing right now for your community that would help improve it, what would it be?
I think when I became so I should clarify that the Discord server was not made by me. It was made by someone else. That was within the regulars within the animesketch community, but then eventually I inherited it. There was some drama involved, so I won't really get into it, but I disagree with the previous moderation on some things. And I think one of the things is that I didn't want the community to be so cliquey. I didn't want people to be hurling around inside jokes, only hanging around with themselves.
Oh, that is pretty tough, huh?
I wanted the group to be more inviting for new people so that they can jump into the voice at any time and don't feel like they're being overwhelmed by a bunch of regulars that's just talking over them or being or things like that.
So one thing you can wish for is to not have be so cliquey. I feel like that's kind of hard to sort of enforce though, because even in my own community, right, we have our own inside jokes, our own groups and stuff. Yeah. I sometimes worry like, oh man, I hope that whoever new is joining, they can feel like welcome and stuff. But what ends up happening is that a different set of group who are mainly active in VC tend to be like their own sort of group of people that's separate from like the rest of the community.
Yeah, this has happened multiple times throughout my time here. People have come and go, even regulars. Like entire groups of regulars have disappeared before. I call these exoduses because they're big events usually. Usually it's like a bunch of little things that build up and eventually there's like something that breaks a straw, like a straw that breaks the camel's back, and suddenly like everyone leaves. And so I have to rebuild the community from ground up. And this has happened probably at least 2 or 3 times throughout my 10 or 9 years of moderating.
I've had that happen too, honestly. It's just
yeah.
I can't really explain it. I don't think it's a bad thing either. I actually feel happy when people make their own Discord group after finding their own way in my own server. Because to me, it's like, I'd rather not like constrain you to the place that I built. I'd rather you be happier with the group of people you build yourself around, you know? So I can understand that, but it must be exhausting kind of seeing that iteration like, go through over and over again.
I wouldn't say it's over and over again. It happens rarely. I've just been around for so long that it happens more often. In terms of what I do to try to prevent it or things, when people join VC, I always try to greet them, even if there's a conversation going on. At least I mentioned that, hey, I noticed you're here, like, welcome. I try to make sure that the voice chat isn't... I try to keep things on topic. So, for example, it's like a drawing channel. I don't want people to be playing games in there. I know that used to be a problem a long time ago, and then so people who wanted to focus on drawing would join thinking there's gonna be like a drawing voice chat, and then people are just playing games, like, you know, like I don't know, like League of Legends or like Elleran or things like that. So I had to put a stop to that.
I actually have to compliment you on your server, because I think that even in art gallery that's pretty active, people still take the time to like comment or leave a reaction for almost every piece. No, I think that's kind of unheard of when I go to other servers. Because when I go to other art servers, people tend to just drop their art and then leave because it was just a way for them to advertise their art and that was it. I find that in animesketch of all places, people there, you know, are active with each other, are interacting with the critique piece, they're like commenting in art discussion. It's actually a really, really unique aspect of animesketch that I admire.
Yeah, I think so. As a hobbyist, who I don't think it's recent anymore. But when I joined the art community, I felt like sometimes my pieces get ignored or other people get ignored, especially if their pieces are not that good. And because animesketch is a hobbyist server, not a professional one, it tends to attract a lot of beginners or people who are trying to learn. So when I see people posting art pieces, I always try to leave a reaction.
Oh, you're the reason why. You're the catalyst.
It's much easier for people to react to something when there's already a reaction. So I make it a point to at least give like a thumbs up to every piece I see.
Okay.
If it's really good, then I'll leave all the comments or the reactions. But even if it's like a very beginner piece or a person who doesn't really know what they're doing, I think it's still important to be encouraging.
I agree too. Okay, I'll ask you one last question, then we'll take a quick look at chat. Have you ever thought of stepping down?
Oh,
yeah.
Actually, yeah. Because, like, honestly, I don't... Let me rephrase it. I'm not actively trying to step down, per se, but it's... Being a moderator also means you have to take care of the community, because there's a sense of responsibility, but that responsibility could also feel like a restraint. Sometimes you want to try to go invest time elsewhere, but because you're a mod and you have to keep taking care of it, you can't fully leave it. Now, that being said, okay. We want to talk about moderators, like good moderator, bad moderator, like what moderator is, like what qualities are good and things like that.
You want to talk about the moderators?
Nah, not a specific person.
I asked you specifically if you ever thought of stepping down. So I guess short answer is yes, huh?
Well, yes, but I think the reason why I bring the moderators up is because say I step down, it needs to be filled up. Like the space needs to be filled up. I can just leave and just leave it unmoderated. So I think looking for good moderators is also part of stepping down.
I feel like there's some pretty good candidates in your server though, because there's been people who are active in creating their own events for the server. That's not official, yes. You know.
Well, right now there is Diamond Cat who is very active. She handles. I think she's a she. I think she said it was she. I never voice chatted with her or anything, so I'm not actually sure. But I think she's she. Diamond Cat said that she wanted to hold some events. I think she initially she's doing the bi-weekly challenges. So she comes up with the idea. I discussed it with her. She posted. She puts together the inspiration board or like an example board, and she types it up and posts it. And she does this every couple of weeks. For example, recently she's been asking about doing like a movie night or like a group night to do some other activities.
Yeah. Oh, she'd be great.
Yeah, but so here's the problem.
Oh.
People like helping out with those. Yeah, but the problem is that people don't want to become responsible for everything.
Yeah.
So they don't want to be a mod. They understand that mod is like ultimately a thankless job. most people like people don't care if things are going smoothly. They don't notice it. But when there are problems, they start blaming mods. You probably see the memes on Reddit about these subreddit moderators are these neckbeards drunk with power. They're just flexing on people for trying to ban them. You hear the memes, all the Discord mods, stuff like that. So it's a pretty thankless job, and I think a lot of more mature people recognize that. So they generally don't have they enjoy the community, but they also don't. They understand the weight of the responsibility of being a moderator. So they don't want that either.
It sounds like you kind of got the short end of the stick because you were so young when you decided you want to be the server owner, which is actually a lot bigger of a task than you thought of it, right? You thought, oh, I just own the server and then I just run it and that's it. His story.
Yeah. Like I said, like being an active member of the community does help you want to make the community better. If I decided to become more distant and didn't really care about the community anymore, then I think a lot of community members will see that and recognize that I'm becoming inactive or not being active. So it is in my best interest to remain active and encourage more good people to step up.
Oh man,
which they are.
Elleran, Elleran, you're gonna. It sounds like you're gonna be the owner for a long time. You might even come to a point where your kids become a member of your own server Discord when they're of age.
No. No.
No. No. Alright, let's check onto the chat here. We got... Feel free to send any question you guys would like to have answered from the podcast so far. What's up? Wait, is it British Elleran? Was he? Welcome, Prospect. Hello, hello. Thank you for the compliment on the setup, Tony. It was brought to you by Nora's Pot. They do assets similar to this, and they're really high quality too. Yeah, for a few minutes. Elleran went British? Elleran went British for a minute? I don't know. Can we see what the subreddit drew in our place? Yeah, actually, I got that here for you right here. Now
Wait, hang on.
Whoa.
We haven't drawn anything in r/place. We didn't participate.
Oh, whoa. You guys didn't participate? Wait, how come?
I didn't even know what's going on.
Wait.
Even if I did, I don't think...
You could have probably amassed an army to draw you something in r/place.
No. Okay, so even though animesketch has a big demographic, most of them are just art enjoyers, like art hobbyists. Most of them don't draw, I think. Because if all of these 1.5 million, if this 1.5 million people are all active, then the number of votes, for example, should be numbering in thousands easily. But it's not. A lot of these are just workers who enjoy posting art, or they are kind of curious about learning to draw anime art. I think the big difference between animesketch and r/anime art, they're very similar, but r/anime art lets you post art that you haven't drawn.
Oh,
whereas
true.
r/anime, animesketch, you need to have drawn the piece.
We have a question here from Mino.
Oh yes.
Do you have a story where your OC here has come from? I really like the visual novel that you did. Oh yeah. I guess you should give some background knowledge about Alicia, which is Elleran's OC here. I've seen her since forever. We did see her post from like 10 years ago, so she's definitely something that means a lot to you, right? Not to mention that when you first started streaming, she's also your stream avatar too. So you can feel free to answer his question.
Yes. So to answer the question, it ties with the reason why I started drawing in the first place. I started drawing, I think, of July of 2013, so a month before I joined animesketch. I don't know if you guys like writing, actually, but there's an event called National Novel Writing Month. It's in November. It's in November every year. It's an international event. You're supposed to write a 50,000-word small novel within kind of 1 month. So they have like a summer version where you can do it over the month of July. And so I wanted to give it a chance. I thought writing would be a fun hobby. So I did it. And then during the time was when I first came up with the concept of Alicia. I think she was called Alice, actually.
Can I ask for context, like how old were you when you made her?
2013. I was 20.
Oh my god.
Which tells you my age, which is 30.
No, you're a young man. You're a young man. It's all good. It's all good.
I didn't say I was old.
I didn't really have OCs until like around age 2. I mean, I had some previous OCs around 16, but I think around my 20s when I started like fleshing out characters.
Excellent. Everyone should have OCs.
Everyone should have OC. I think everyone has OCs, to my knowledge. I don't feel like I really have an OC though. I'm the type of person to draw them one time and then that was it.
Oh, yeah, looking at. To continue to answer the question, that's when where she came from, and since then I've been just perpetually working on the project, redesigning her over and over again. I think Jueri has probably seen at least like 2 or 3 different iterations of Alicia.
Yeah.
Right now I'm still working on it. I think I stopped the project. I think like early this year or early last year. I don't remember when it was, but I started to get into more writing. I read up on Dramatica, Save the Cat, other story writing techniques, and then I scrapped the characters in the story and then I'm rebuilding it again. But at least, hey, now I have an avatar drawn.
Yeah.
Right.
Man, your progress in art really jumped from 10 years ago, though.
Thank you.
It looks fantastic now, too. Of course it did.
Oh, yes.
Okay, let's get back to the podcast here. I have 2 more questions regarding anime sketch, then we can move on to some more side hobbies that people might learn from. Okay, where do you see the future of anime sketch right now? Because it's already as big as it is, right? How do you even carve out a future with it? Or do you plan to just continue it as is? Is there like any any aspiration? Get some sponsorship maybe, Elleran?
I don't think anything like that taking place. I have my own reservations about things like contests. I know some art servers do contests, and they're like prizes. Like for example, contests, I don't think it's that great because of it kind of becomes a popularity contest. For example, I don't really like that. And it's hard to objectively judge art without people getting offended. In terms of just like overall server, I don't have any grand plans for anything. A long time ago, I did. I used to be really into OCs and storytelling, and I would encourage people to do it. I still do, but back then I actually wanted people to make characters so it could do like a collab comic thing or something, but that never materialized.
Oh.
I don't think the community's gonna change dramatically in the future. Maybe some people will come and go, but I just wanted to be a stable place where people can come and hang out, meet other people who are also in the same hobby, have the same passion, make friends. Like Jueri, like we met each other, and you met other people from NSFW. I think we still talk nowadays.
Yeah, I
know
do.
You went off. Yeah, you went off on start doing your own things, and so did a lot of other people. Some people made their own bigger community. Some people are doing their own solo adventures. Some people decide to become more professional.
Oh, yeah, true.
I like animesketch being like a little bastion of hobbyists to join without feeling pressure. I think it's like a cool place to network, hang out, and then if you want to break off and do your own thing, that's fine too. I encourage it. It's making friends is always nice.
For me personally, my own server, I feel like right now it's a friend Discord server because I haven't really got to the point where there's an influx of people from YouTube to the Discord server. But in the future, I feel like my content in video making, where I am catering more to inspiring VTubers, there might be a sort of change in the way that my server is catering towards. So that's how I see mine personally. That's because it's sort of small still, so I can still shape it. But I guess for yours, you start to see it as more of like a gathering place for people of all sort of levels and background. Which I do agree though, because I met some really great people who have some notoriety in the art world, which is crazy to me. It's like, woo, we share the same space and you worked on FGO kind of thing. Like that sort of like that sort of thing, right? Also,
just
Vino's...
the other day.
Oh, sorry, I just didn't cut you off. But Vino did say thank you for answering his question earlier.
Yes, thanks for the question, Vino. I was gonna say about famous people. Just the other day, I don't know if you guys know Pluvium. What's Hackerman's Twitter and Instagram?
I can't help you.
Okay, I think it's Pluvium Grannis. Okay, I think it's Pluvium Grannis. But there's this guy named Pluvium Grannis on Instagram and Twitter. You guys should check him out. He's in animesketch, and the other day someone joined the server, and when Hackerman started posting his stuff, they're like, "Oh, wait a minute! I saw this post on Instagram before. Are you that person?"
Whoa!
And Hackerman's like, "Yes." He's like, "Oh man, I love your stuff," and like, yeah.
He was someone that was really good at art, but didn't touch social media. But when he touched social media, it was like the perfect baby was born. The perfect like mixed baby was born with all the good traits. It turns out he's really good for social media because he draws really fast. He you know, as artists, we stress about pushing out art like every day, but this guy actually does it naturally as he breathes. So it's kind of unfair in a way.
Yeah. I think, I mean, it helps that he's good at art. I think people say like, oh, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, you gotta maximize your gains. Like, yo, if you draw well and you post consistently, you will gain followers, period.
I thought I mean, technically he did fan art. I think that was really set him apart from other people.
Oh, yes. Well, he did fan art, but he also did that well. That helps.
As the community continues to grow in numbers, do you have advice for people wanting to jump into such large waters? Like, if I were to join animesketch today, what do you think I should do to get acclimated to such a large server?
I think that question varies from community to community. I think it's my job / the community's job to make the newcomers feel welcome.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. I think there are obviously etiquettes that the person should also follow. Like following the rules, you know, don't be a dick.
Hey, you can't be saying on my podcast, Elleran.
Sorry,
Watch
okay.
it.
Don't be mean. Be nice. But you'd be surprised. There's some people who enter and they might mean well, but they have very strange social etiquettes. I haven't really seen many people that are super, super cringy. And if they do, I think most of the community kind of silently agree on it and they kind of avoid interaction with that person until that person just kind of leaves because they get bored. But for the most part, I think you should join. You're interacting regularly. You don't even need to join the voice chat specifically, but if you're at least chatting regularly and kind of integrate yourself, I think that's fine. But I think how welcome you feel is the job of the community and the market.
I totally agree, because currently right now I'm super into Pokemon Sleep. I know I talk about this all the time. People make fun of me for bringing it up on stream, but I'm so much into Pokemon Sleep that I am in the Discord server for it. But it's hard to feel like I'm a part of community because chat just happens so fast. There's just so many people, and it's hard for me to really connect with anyone in there. Maybe it's different with an art server. I don't think I personally ever... Well, I haven't really put myself out there in our Discord servers yet. I've been kind of mainly keeping to text. But I think that when you join voice chat, it definitely accelerates your feeling of community within such a large space.
Yeah, for sure. I think I know what you're talking about. Like, for example, if I just go into, I don't know, League of Legends Discord server or like you know, like a Valorant server, it's gonna be crazy big, crazy active. But also, I think the quality of the people there is less moderated. So you end up with very active, fast chat with a bunch of regulars or non-regulars. There are a lot of people who are serious and not serious. So it's really hard to be noticed or gain any kind of traction. I think for animesketch, even though the server size might be a little bit bigger, I think the number of regulars is small enough. And if you're there and you're interacting with people regularly, or maybe joining the voice chat, posting art, and things like that, and you're generally a nice person, then you'll probably be noticed very quickly, and then people will naturally interact with you. So I think it really depends on the type of the community you're joining.
I think it's sort of like when you move up a grade in school, you pretty much know everyone since you already went to class with them in previous years. But then you have 1+1, which is the teacher, right? It's sort of like that in the Discord community where there's regulars, and then when there's a new person, it's very noticeable when we just do the +1 in your head, like, okay, this person's new.
Yeah, I think a lot of people also join and kind of post art and disappear. Like they're just using animesketch as another art outlet. You know, like votes. I think you talked about it earlier, where people are just completely silent. They don't participate in anything. They just make the rounds, post their newest Twitter post, every single art channel, and then they leave again. Those kind of people don't really get traction. Like they're not there for the community aspect of it.
True. Yeah. I do notice that people who get a lot of likes on their posts or reacts, I suppose, in Discord, at least in your Discord server, they tend to get a lot of reacts when there are regulars. Like I used to be a regular there like many years ago, but even though I haven't talked in a while, I still have people who show support for my art, which I really appreciate, by the way. But I think that's more of a testament to the sort of community you cultivated it. Right? Yes,
I agree. That's a very positive thing I really like about the community. I'm proud of it.
Alright, enough about animesketch. We gotta get back to the man behind it all, right? We gotta uncover some things about you and your art. I will show people your art on screen. You guys can look at it, follow him on Twitter if you're interested in it. Ooh, not this one. Hold on, give me a second.
Yeah, that's the number of followers.
Yeah, his followers at like 1 million right now. Okay.
No.
What is your relationship with art? Do you ever work towards pursuing it? Because there was a time when I was working towards pursuing art as a full-time thing, and I low-key like got really burnt out of it. And I realized that for me, at least, I like art, but not enough to make it my full-time thing. So I've run into sort of same story with many other hobby artists, or maybe those who are thinking about pursuing art. So were you in that sort of same vein?
When I started art, it was completely hobby. I had no intention of making money from it, and I couldn't dream of making any money from it. I think after I started, maybe like within like a year or two, I tried opening commissions, as I think everyone at some point tries.
Mm-hmm.
I think some of the early commissions, I think everyone goes through this phase, but I accepted a $25 commission for full character, full body, full color, with no background. And it was the most painful experience ever, and I think that traumatized me.
Vito here is complimenting your Miju fan art and Yoku too. Do you recognize these names?
Yeah, Vito. So I'm also in another VTuber streamer, content creator person's server. Their name is Yokura. I've met her a couple of times at cons. I don't think she really remembers me because I don't really hang out with her. But she has a server, and then I think Vito is also in a server.
Oh, really? What the heck? The world's so small.
Yeah, I also I think when Vito saw me in your server, he was surprised because I think he saw me in Yoku's server.
He did.
I think it'll pop up again. I'll talk about it when it pops up. But that blue-haired fox girl, she's the OC of Yoku. She's her name is Mofuko. You can just call her Mofu.
I see.
It's very fluffy. That's how I know Vino.
Wait, so you knew Vino before or after? You knew him when the server established, right? Around that time? This person right here. I see.
No, this is Miju. Miju's another random VTuber person on Yoku's server.
What the heck? I'm assuming it's Yoku right here.
Nice designs. But yeah, this is Yoku, yeah. Well, I'm seeing it on the stream, so it's probably a little bit delayed. But it's a fox girl holding the little two, like the tray things. So all these characters you're seeing, except for I think the Scotty fan art, are actually all just fan art from different people's OCs or characters. I can name them all, like who it belongs to.
Oh no, it's all good. But back on topic though, it's very interesting to hear that you're pretty logical actually, because you realize that you don't want to pursue it full time, but you did try to make it at least a side hustle. I think like I was pretty like, maybe because you're around your 20s, early 20s to mid 20s when you got decent art enough to consider like a full time thing. But I got a decent level like well, I started drawing around like 15, around 15, and then
must be nice.
So I sort of had an advantage because by the time I got old enough, like at that age where I started to think more about my own future, I did try to pursue it, but because I had this sort of like grandiose like vision and dreams and stuff, I mean I don't regret it, and I really did enjoy my time working full time as an artist. So yeah. Given sorry, you can go.
Sorry, I realized I didn't actually answer your question fully because like a sidetrack with the Vino question.
Yeah, no.
Okay, I'll finish real quick. So nowadays I'm interested in using art as like a side hobby thing, but I don't think it's reasonable for me to go into art full time right now. I think maybe in the future, depending on how much traction I can gain, maybe. In terms of my short-term goal, I've never tabled at art sellers before, and I've always been interested. So one day, I think that's my short-term goal. Hopefully within the next year, I want to make plans to get better at composition and actually try tabling. I think that should be fun.
I feel like you're very qualified. You're someone who has been to probably over 100 cons.
Okay, I don't think that many, but it's not. There's definitely a difference between going to a convention and browsing the artist alley versus actually sitting and becoming a vendor. And I think my friend pointed it out too. So yeah.
So it seems that So, given that you kept your art as a hobby, your current goal right now is just to table basically within the 1 year. Is there like a grander goal with your art? Just out of curiosity.
I think the most ambitious goal I have with art is, so Alicia again, I want to make the actual visual novel and the story one day, and I've been actively working toward that throughout my entire art career. I think my biggest goal would be to actually create the stories in completion as visual novels.
I have a question now.
Not necessarily.
This is gonna lead to probably a hard question for you, but because of this large goal you have of wanting to publish a visual novel involving your OC, do you create the story for yourself or for the audience in mind? Because this can influence whether or not your story gains traction and viewed and liked by many people.
Yeah, I am making it for myself. I'm not considering it to be like a profitable commercial thing. If you want to give me money for it, I'll accept it, but that's not the main goal.
Oh.
So I think this goes back to your previous question about making like a full-time thing. If I did become a full-time artist or like use art to make money, I don't think I'll be doing much original work. I have to focus on doing a lot of fan art to try to appeal to the audience. Yeah.
So your end goal is just to complete it, basically to have your story somewhere for yourself and maybe for other people, but not really to build a big audience around it. Because I worry, right? Like, you're someone who's putting a lot of time and effort into this visual novel for your OC, but by off chance it's not viewed by many people. Would that really upset you at all? How'd you feel about that?
I think so. There are certain things that I think I have to prepare in order for it to be a more successful project. One of the things is that I should gain a following before the project. I think if there are more people who generally support you, then when I start doing projects, and there's gonna be more people supporting me for the project as well. So if I'm a nobody that makes a visual novel about these characters that people have never seen before, I think it's going to be mostly ignored. But if it's someone that you've known for a long time, you've seen their posts, you've liked them a lot, and then you've seen their original characters a lot as well, as part of illustrations or other small projects, and then they create something that's related to it, like a visual novel telling their story.
Yeah.
I think people are already invested enough that they'll like to check it out.
Yeah, Elleran, but I don't care about other people. I want to know how you feel. I want to know how would you feel if you get a lot of people or don't get a lot of people. I want to know your feelings on the matter.
I would like for my original characters to be popular. It's definitely something that matters to me. I want to tell the story that I want to tell, so I don't want to change the story to become more popular. But I want to have enough support that when I do make that story, no matter what the story might be, people would care about my art enough that they will be interested.
Is this something that you're currently working on? Like, how far are you with it? What do you mean?
I think you know Kit, right? Kit Cordell.
Yes,
I think
I do.
some of you guys also know him too. He's active in writing servers too, so I've interacted with him. I've interacted with other people who are also into writing, and so while I'm writing my drafts and such, I've scrapped it several times. I think most recently I got into Dramatica, and then I was playing around with that to help me really think about the type of story I'm writing, and then I ended up scrapping it too. So currently, the story is my current short-term goal for the project is to write the prologue that introduces these characters.
Oh, so you haven't actually started on it. Okay, I see how it is.
Yeah,
I see how what's like stopping you? Because I know from my own experience, right? When I started VTubing, at least for myself full-time right now, the thing that was stopping me personally was getting the assets properly prepared by other artists. That was what I was waiting for, so that's why I set my debut time around June, July. Honestly, it really did take 6 months to fully finish everything I need for stream, but honestly, it was very hard to start something, right? I don't know why it's hard to start something, but once you start getting into it, it starts to become less daunting, I think. And yeah, alright.
I've taken steps to prepare for it. For example, because I needed experience making these things, I did a few game jams. I don't know if people are familiar with it. It's an event where people are given limited amount of time. So for example, like 24 hours, a week, 2 weeks and things like that. And there are usually set of rules or like a theme that you have to follow, and you're expected to finish a completed game within that time frame, starting from scratch. So yeah, it looks like poor Genius says he loves game jams. So some people are familiar with it. So I participated in a few. I did one last year. I did one the year before that. And each time I do it, even though I'm making very small projects, like maybe like a 15-minute visual novel, it's I gain a lot of experience working with people by myself, figuring out what works, what doesn't. When I do finally do my main project, I will be going in as a more experienced person than just like someone who sits here and wonders about it forever.
I don't know if I agree with that. I know for myself that I tend to start things when I have like the perfect start. But lately I'm starting to lower that expectation for myself and maybe do like, oh, I'm prepared 90% and I'm just gonna trust it 10% of the way there. I'm kind of worried that from the sounds of it that you are not starting it but just preparing in preparation during the whole thing, and it's like stopping you from actually starting the whole like process.
Yeah, that's a very good point, and it's also a fear of mine. Like I said, for example, even making this Alicia sprite for the visual novel for the intro.
Excuses, Elleran. Excuses.
No, this is good because it helped me make the sprite in the first place. So it was helpful for like this was like a forced step forward. I had to take the step so that I can prepare the visual novel, but it also helped me create my first sprite that I could use, for example, for my future projects.
Oh yeah, I gotta give you context for the beginning of the stream, guys. I like to approach my guests and ask them to do like an interesting entrance. From previous podcasts, you know, Gabe, he showed up with a shirtless body with the button head, right? With the JoJo theme going on. That's a very Gabe thing of him to do. And for today, Elleran actually offered to do like a whole visual novel, which I think is insane. I'm actually really grateful you put in so much effort for your entrance. You probably set the standard for your entrance for future guests. Now everyone has to go after you, you know?
No way. I did it because I had the skills and the means to do it.
You actually did it really fast, right? How long did it take you? Because I'm someone who never had experience. I never had experience doing the end stuff.
Yeah, I really like a whole different animal. I can talk about it for a while. But for this project, I think we were talking over DM. I think we talked about it from maybe like 2.5 weeks ago. I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then when that happened, I was actually out of my house because my house was under construction. My house had water leaks, so I was gone for like 2 weeks, and I was only gonna have 3 days after I came back from my trip to create all the sprite from scratch.
Okay, hold on. I think we got some misinformation here. I approached you 1 month before. I approached you basically after Gabe's appearance on the stream. I like to give
before Gabe too.
I like to give my guests some time, okay, just to eventually prepare for this sort of thing.
Yeah, okay. Let me clarify. She told me that Jueri told me that I should have an intro ready, and so I think neither of us had a really good idea for it. And then 2.5 weeks ago, I came up with the idea and I told her about it, and she was a little hesitant too. She was like,
"Okay,
that sounds like a big deal."
Fair.
Yeah, so I was sweating too, but you know, yesterday I stayed up until 3 a.m. finished it. Easy, man.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Oh, it was great though. We all enjoyed it.
I wanted to do it.
It's memorialized on my channel now. Memorialized on my channel. I appreciate it though. I really, truly.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Compared to art, when do you feel the happiest with what you created for your longer projects? Right now, it sounds like your long-term project is this sort of story building into a visual novel featuring your OC Alicia, which we have on screen. So when do you sort of hit these dopamine rushes or serotonin, I suppose? You know, because I get kind of like, I'm like dreading the art process. I'm like, oh, but you know, today I finished the sketch, and then I go into like dreading the process again. Oh, I finished the coloring, and then finally I'll dread some more, and then bam, art's finished. I am in my post nut clarity state or something. But when do you experience that with this current long-term project?
I think whenever I make a breakthrough in like stories I'm trying to figure out or character designs, that's when it's really nice. Then you get the rush. You get like, oh, I just thought of a character that would be perfect for the scene. So your head's rushing about, or your mind's rushing about the design, and you come up with the design, the personality, the writing, and suddenly you want to write about them, you want to draw them, you want to come up with the design, and you feel very motivated when that happens. Then once you finish, then it feels really good.
Mm. So wait, do you have your story already finished, or are you still writing it?
No, I'm still writing it. I'll probably be writing it forever.
Oh really?
Not really, but hopefully it'll finish.
When do you feel that rush though? Like only when you finish those goals for yourself, basically.
Well, I'm not always working on it. For example, you know that I just do sketches, I do illustrations. So I have the same. I completely relate with your point about different phases of art. You're like, I finished a sketch, I finished a line art, flat colors, shading, post processing, background. So each step, it feels good to at least finish a step, and then at the very end, when you're ready to post it, and of course you post it, and then you have to delete it because you probably made some errors. You probably repeat this like 2 or 3 times, but like once you finish everything and post, it feels good. But when you release my project, it's hard to release a full project without there being a lot of steps in between. So it's the same way where I'm thinking of like, okay, I want to build a sprite. So like each step, the same applies to the sprite or whatever I'm doing as it was on illustration. So you'd be excited to start the sketch, and then you're like, I finished a line art for this character, I did a black color for this character, I finished the character, I finished all the expressions, and then so you finish one big step, and after you go to the next one. If you're writing, then I don't do too much writing, but when I do writing, again, same things like, okay, I'm gonna get through the scene. Oh, I finished it. I'm gonna edit it, get some feedback. Hopefully, edit it more and so on. So it's the same. I think it's the same thing for just different parts of the creation process.
I feel like I'm a bad example of this, but because I've done so much writing and actually more academic writing, I kind of dread writing as a whole. But when I'm working on like long essays and stuff, I get that sort of rush when I finish one paragraph. One paragraph. That's like my motivation to keep going. Just one paragraph done. Okay, close the computer. Do it again next tomorrow. I keep doing that until it's fully completed and then turned in, and that's when I feel like the wave of relief. And
I think
yeah.
Recently, I started getting into doing some RP, like role-playing stuff with Ravania and Safe. I think these are people that are in the community too. So that's helping me visualize my character better, get in her head more, and then just get practice with writing dialogues, interaction, and internal thoughts. So I think it's fun. I think you can try it sometime soon, right? Just like make JueriHaan OC that you can have her roleplay as a moon bunny.
Hey. I'm not roleplaying, I really am. What are you on about?
That's true. You can have her interact and via text with other people's characters too.
Okay, this is gonna be a very interesting question, but I was kind of curious about this. You talk about writing as a skill set, right? Is that something you can monetize? Because I have a younger cousin, right? I'm asking, oh, are you like doing like a side job? He's like, oh yeah, I was looking for ways to hustle online. One of the ways is to write stories for people. I'm like, what? So are there like people who look for people to create stories? Because to me, it feels like everyone already has a story, right? Versus like an art skill, you might want to go for other people for a different level art skills, but I don't understand how someone might be able to make money off of like writing itself. Yeah,
so a cool thing about getting into game development is that you get to meet a lot of people outside of just art. So I've met programmers, different kinds of artists, like background artists, UI artists.
You're actually quite social. You're quite social for an introvert. You're a pretty social one.
Yeah, I'm active in some different servers too. So one of the things is that you see voice actors, writers, people who focus on marketing, things like that.
Oh,
so yes, there are in fact people who get paid to write, and they get paid to write different things. They could be writing fanfics, or you could suggest them characters, whether it's an original character or like a franchise character. You tell them kind of like a story, like a theme you want them to write about, and they can write it. They'll charge you for words.
Oh, yeah,
they might charge you for like 500 words, 1,000 words, 5,000 words, and 10,000 words, things like that. So different ways for that. It's kind of like voice acting, where they charge you per words too.
Is it a popular skill set to market? I don't know, because I know that they charge you by like the words, but I'm kind of curious if it's like a popular skill set people are actually actively seeking out.
Well, I can tell you that at least I don't know if you know, but I commission artists on Scab, for example. And on Scab, we can also commission people for music and also writing too.
True.
So there, I see people do writing there. So for sure, I know there's some kind of market for it. I've never.
I feel like
commissioned
it's
anything for it either.
different. On Scab, not really being commissioned for writing, being commissioned for art critique. Right?
No. There's actual optional. Like you can ask them for music, you can ask them for writing.
Oh, I see. That's really interesting.
Yeah. I can't read it because it's posted as like an image, so I can't translate it, and I don't read Japanese.
You know, speaking of Scab, right? Let's talk about the pros and cons about that. So I know
Oh, okay.
from the time that I've known you, right? I think for the past couple of years or so, you probably spent like maybe over 5K.
No.
Over 5K.
No, stop.
Okay, over 10K. 10K?
No. It's not that much. I don't think it's that much.
Okay, so about
Definitely, I don't
5K on Scab.
Maybe. Maybe not.
We
Something like that.
love supporting artists on this channel. Don't be ashamed about dropping 5K on artists. I've dropped something on my own stream. Don't worry about it, guys. What are some pros and cons about working through Scab with that slight language barrier? And also for context, for those of you who may not know what Scab is a Japanese site where you can commission artists in a one-way manner, in that you write what you want, they draw it, and then that was it. That's the end of the transaction. So yeah, so what are some pros and cons of working it?
I think the main difference between Scab and other ways to commission people is that there's a one-way communication, like you said. So the way the Scab is intended, at least based on its description, is Scab is the Japanese pronunciation for sketchbook. So like a shortened version of it.
Okay, that's cute.
That's why it's called Scab. So you know, sketchbook, Scab. Yeah. Anyway, so the idea is that it's kind of like you being an artist, giving them your sketchbook for them to draw on, and so you tell them like, oh, can I have this character? And you're not gonna be sitting there, explaining your whole story, plot, and like all the interaction. Like, just tell them like, oh, here's a character, can you draw a sketch for me? And so they draw the thing on the sketchbook and give it to you. That's the idea behind Scab. So because of that, I think having commissioned so many times on Scab, I think it's better to find an artist you like and then just tell them to draw whatever they want. If you try to micromanage everything they're doing, then it really restricts what they would like to draw. So I think it ends up becoming not properly in the artist style. Like they're not able to properly express themselves. So for Scab, I think you aren't paying for a piece, you're paying for the artist's time and having them draw. You're commissioning them because you like their style, not because you want something specific from them.
Yeah, generally,
I think that's a big difference.
the price on Scab is a little cheaper, mainly because you don't have the back and forth interaction like you do with art commission. So the price is lower, but you lose agency, what you want in your piece exactly. What's your best like experience with Scab? You can send it to me in Discord. I can send it on screen. And what's your worst experience with Scab?
Oh man, okay. Let me talk about the worst experience first.
Okay.
So after you receive your artwork, you have an opportunity to do what's called boosting. It's like tipping the artist. And when you do this boost, you can also send a short message along with money to boost the artwork. And if an artwork is boosted, then on their portfolio, you have like a gold border around it to make it look special. So I always like to tip my artists, but
As you should.
Yeah, as I should, I suppose. Especially since a lot of people want Scab auto charge. But there's one person I did not post, and that was the worst piece I ever gotten. Okay, I'll tell you the reason why.
Okay.
The entire color scheme for Alicia was wrong. She they made her skin way too dark. I think people joke that. Yeah, as you can see as my avatar, Alicia has a relatively pale complexion, but yeah, I don't know. She became very, very dark.
Like tan?
Like she turns like straight up African.
Okay, so what I'm getting at here is that your worst experience is when they darken your character. This is like the opposite of whitewash, but except they darken your character.
Yeah, but like it wasn't even like it wasn't like they changed ethnicity. It didn't. I think what most likely happened is the artist might have been colorblind or something.
What?
So
The artist?
wait.
Being colorblind, you can tell what tone something is, whether it's light tone or dark tone.
Right?
Yes, that's what.
Right? I agree. Yeah.
I don't think they're color. I think this artist has been dead against you. And you know what, guys? I actually read the Skeb commission. I know what he's talking about too.
A lot of people know because I always hear about it.
Okay, yeah. So, Elleran received a Skeb commission of his character Alicia, but she came back looking darker. I almost don't want to say tan. She was really dark. And
yeah, she was really dark.
When I read the description of what Elleran requested, it was pretty detailed. I was like, Elleran's like, oh yeah, can you draw my OC sitting at a 45-degree angle with her legs crossed underneath the moonlight that is set at sundown. Low-key, I read it, I was like, this is really detailed. Maybe the artist didn't like this.
No way. That kind of preference is different from artist to artist. Some artists really like you if you make a really detailed request and they can fulfill it really well, which is amazing. Some artists specifically say in the thing like, hey, don't be too specific. So you barely have enough characters to be like, you have to erase a lot of your request words because you run out of space. So normally I'm like, oh, hello, artist name, hello, sensei. I really like your style. You give them some compliments. You're like, can you draw my character? Here's some personality stuff, and whatever. Some artists, it's so short. You're like, hi, can you draw this character? Thank you. And you run out of words.
Okay, I'm gonna ask this to you, but also to artists in the chat. But do you prefer like more detailed description of what to draw, or do you prefer like kind of open-ended ones?
Nowadays, my preference of sending commission requests have changed over time. I think in the beginning, I was more afraid of artists that have a mixed record in their portfolio. Like they definitely have some pieces that are really good out and some that are not so good. So I used to be more specific. I tried to cater the request to go toward in the style of what I thought was a success. But that also had mixed results. And then I realized that, wait a minute, this is just dumb. I'm just restricting the artist's freedom.
Yeah. So how could you?
So nowadays, I think I just find artists that are more expensive, but they're definitely, they're just generically good. Like they just, it's clear that they've learned their fundamentals. They know what they're doing. So no matter what they draw, it's gonna look good. So I would just send them be like, hey, can you like draw my character at a beach? Or like wearing a swimsuit, and they're like, okay, they just draw whatever, and it looks good. I don't need to be like, oh, can you draw them?
I prefer if the commissioner can see like a really detailed, like by the book of how they want their character. Don't give me agency because I'm gonna choose the worst option possible. It's not the one that's in your mind right now.
Yeah, I think being open-ended for at least Skeb is good. I think if you're doing an actual commission with someone specific, then you can be as detailed as you want because there's more communication. But in Skeb, you don't have such communication. You can't clarify anything. If the artist is confused, they can't refer to anything to answer their questions. They can't DM you. That's actually against the rules.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I know people who receive their artwork and then complain on other social media, and they actually get banned from Skeb because if they get reported, like the artist gets upset and they report you, Skeb will actually ban you.
Oh god. I was actually gonna ask you, can I show the piece that you don't like? Your turn?
No, I don't want to disparage the artist. No, I don't want to show it here. Like I can show it. I know I show it in like private chats and stuff, but I don't like people want to show it on stream.
Oh, okay.
I definitely don't want to, like, especially if it's a piece that I've commissioned. I never want to be like in public. I don't want to be like, oh, I hate this piece. Like this person was a mistake. Like, you should never commission this. It's like no. I think it's just...
Okay, well, if you guys want to know what the piece looks like, send me like a cat gif and I'll send it to you. Send me a cat gif in Discord.
I think we can show some good ones. I think artists that I think deserve special compliments or mentions. I think it's good to show, but I don't want to. No matter how bad of experience. Okay, I'll be honest. That wasn't the worst piece I got. That was the most obviously worst one, but. I think my ones that I was most disappointed by were actually more expensive ones that didn't turn out that.
Wow, really? You're disappointed by more expensive ones? Wow, crazy.
Well, because that one, like, if there was a really good artist I've been really looking forward to, I paid a lot of money, and then I get back something that I don't think looks good, that feels really bad. It hurts.
Oh god, I worry about that as the artist giving the commission of like doing a piece and then it's not the quality of what they expect. I think that's very hard to sort of gauge if you're in that sort of field.
Yeah, it's
checking.
Okay, let me
While you do that, while you send me good pieces, I'm gonna check on the chat here real quick here. That's what you need, right? You need time to go get the good piece.
Yeah, I can grab some good pieces.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Eagle says that he likes having it pretty open-ended. Suggestions definitely help, but whenever he takes calm, he likes to try and do his own thing. Maybe that's why I got so burnt out, because I was really restricted. I don't think... Well, I think art as a creative endeavor full-time is definitely more taxing than people give credit for. You know, I saw like a YouTube video of like, oh, you know, I worked 4 hours or a day or so on a piece for work, and then, you know, people will stand there and be like, you're not working 8 hours like the rest of us, why are you working for... Oh, you know, it's a whole different thing. People won't understand unless you actually put your mind to it and work in that sort of creative field again. If you want something super specific, you better get going. Pay extra, basically. Welcome, Songwon. Hello, hello. That said, if they give something super specific to work off, then I wouldn't complain about it. Okay, looks like it goes both ways. And collab is going well, Songwon. I have a lovely friend here.
Jueri, do you want me to DM you so you can...
Yeah, you can DM to me and then I can pull it up for a stream.
Okay.
See, I have a couple people who sent a cat gif. I'm gonna send the art, but I'm not gonna send the artist name, even though it's written in the... You know what? I'll give it to you. Yeah, oh wow, these are really nice pieces. I hope I can properly showcase this. Wow, can I be shown this? I hope that maybe YouTube doesn't bonk me for it.
Yeah, hang on, let me...
no, it's all good, it's all good.
More. Okay, I don't want to like about it because there's so many ones I like.
No, don't worry about it. Momentarily. Let me save all this. It's all good.
Yeah, there's a channel in my server that... Not animesketch, but like my personal server that I post all my sketch commissions on. Okay, I think that's enough for now. There are more ones I like, but I think especially the one that's done by Emma, those are really good. Those are my backgrounds actually.
I think.
And the one that's done by Spoon, is my most recent one, and that was one of my desktop backgrounds. And the one by Hata, I actually printed out while I was at AX because I don't know if any of you guys know Tengen or Nine Colors. Yeah, he's the guy who also collabs with Yokura and other people too. And Calvin Tengen, or like Calvin, what's his name? Capris, Funky Garage, which Jueri also knows. I think maybe one of you guys will meet him too. But one of my friends brought a really expensive printer and really expensive paper, and he wanted to show me how it looked like. So I actually printed one of my commission pieces, and it turned out really nicely. I still have it at home.
The screen's gonna momentarily go back, but I'm just trying to pull up the image in the slideshow for you guys to see the nicer sketch pieces that he got. So here it is on screen, right there.
Oh,
that is really fantastic. Is that your wallpaper for your computer?
For my phone, yeah, these two. The one with Jueri and one with
Bro, these flowers are hard.
Asia. I know this artist is amazing. I have other friends who are really into sketch too, and they've been trying to get this artist to draw stuff for months. But like she always opens and closes while this guy's sleeping because he lives in the Middle East. Just the time zones just don't work out. It's really funny.
Okay, you guys got a good view. I'll let it go for one more rotation, and we can go back to the podcast itself. The whole
yeah, fantastic artworks. Yeah, Emma 3. I don't know if you guys, you know what it sounds like. They might know.
I think I've only ever commissioned twice on Skev and had good experience on both. One is, as you've seen before, is the starting soon and ending soon screen, and the other one is the chibi I use for some of my thumbnails, and probably you'll see more in like a video. But yeah, I have good experience with it. I'm kind of scared, honestly, to use Skev too often. I feel like because the more you commission, right, the more likely you're probably gonna hit that one roadblock out of many. So I'd rather just have the line of communication open, you know. That's just me personally.
Oh, I can show the very first work I got from Skip, because I think that's what motivated me to start.
Motivate you to start spending more money?
I mean, yes, but like I saw this artist and I saw that he was doing scam. I'm like, oh, he's so good. I need to like I want to get his stuff.
To be honest, I didn't really understand the appeal of commissioning other artists because I think many of us are at a skill set where we can probably copy an art style and then do it for our character. But I think there's like a general feeling of gacha with it, I guess. It's weird, isn't it? You kind of know what you're gonna get.
Scam is art gacha.
Yeah, scam is art gacha. Yeah, it goes into my like gambling instinct, like, oh, I don't know what I'm gonna get exactly, but I kind of do know. And then when I get it, it's like, oh, better than what I imagined.
I sent it to you, Jueri.
Oh yeah, I remember this one.
Really first one. Oh, they're so good. They don't just skip anymore. They're like professional artists.
They're professional now.
Well, they've been professional, but I think they just don't want to be scammed for whatever reason.
I'm like, a screen gonna go black momentarily right here, and I'll just pull it up.
Oh man, this artist is so good. You can tell how good the artist is. If you just look at the strands, like for example, the line that's drawn right on the leg, the shin, you can see the line weight change.
Oh.
I'll wait for it to load.
Yeah, sorry guys. Oh no, you can probably keep talking about it because.
Okay, the artist's name is Len, or like he used to stream on Twitch too, but he has his own manga that is it's like themed with like Alice in Wonderland kind of thing. But he's a professional manga artist.
This is vastly different from your own style.
Yeah, for sure. I think exactly what you said. How you said artists are at a level where you can just copy other people's style. But if you commission artists that are completely different style from you, I think it's more worth it because you're not gonna be strong like that ever. So if you really like a different style, then it's good to commission those kind of artists.
I think it's interesting because I actually really want to commission like a lot of chibi art. I do chibi and I can do it pretty okay, but I don't know. I kind of like the way other people do it.
Yeah, I remember you drew me one of my OCs as a chibi for one of my birthdays.
That was so long ago.
Yeah, super cute. Yeah,
like
I can redraw your design now. But yeah, it's super cute.
Thank you.
Maybe you can share it on your server or something.
No. That was back when my monitor had bad coloring. It was my laptop. It was so bad.
Oh, but it's so cute. Oh man, okay.
Very flattering.
I'll share it. Yeah, but I really liked it. Jueri's a very good chibi artist. She's hiding her true skill level here.
I mean, if you have it, I'll show it on screen, but you don't have it, I'm not gonna show it on stream.
Alright, Jueri, you asked for it.
Vino said that he got Witch Hat Atelier vibes from the piece that your very first skep piece. The very first skep I put in is the loading screen. I knew what I wanted already, so I just went for the artist that can do it. And that actually took, I think, almost 5 months. But honestly, the artist handed in on the very last day that they can hand in before their payments get voided. It was very good. they deserve every...
Which is not uncommon.
Well, not uncommon. No, it's very common actually for artists to hand in on the very last day.
I mean, like it's not uncommon.
Oh, sorry, not uncommon.
Like, it's common, yes.
sorry. Your double negative confused me a little bit there.
Oh, Jueri, guess what? That post, that drawing I was talking to you about, that's the very first post in my server.
The very first
posted.
Oh god.
Here, I linked it to you. Now you have to post it. It's too late.
Oh my god.
Oh, it's so cutely. Come on, you gotta be proud of it.
Oh man, I don't even know if I can like show this on stream because it's a GIF, I think. Because yeah, you know, it's a GIF.
Oh, excuses.
Alright. I have no idea how OBS is gonna handle it, but okay, momentarily turning on the darkness. And then we'll show it here. It's been a long while since I've done chibi. It's hard. Any new scavs that you have in the backlog?
No, none I'm waiting on right now. There's artists that I was waiting for, but they took the scav address down from their Twitter. Oh
my god.
So I think they stopped doing it, unfortunately. But if they ever open up, I'll check them out. Ah, here it is.
Happy god, wait, sorry. No, why is it? It's like, hold on, it's not looping. Okay, it's looping now.
Oh, it wasn't looping?
Oh my god, I did XO. Sorry guys, I was like, I was like 19 when I wrote the XO bit. Okay, I would never write any of this now on any like piece I give to my friends. This is when like I'm not friends with him quite yet. I was just like, I admired this senpai in the Discord. That's what it was like.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is
It's
back
like a really
when
nice city.
this is back when I experimented with animating my art because I was in a phase where I was insecure basically about the pricing of my art. So I was like, I don't think anyone's gonna buy my artwork. It's just a PNG, so I'm gonna make all of it animated if people ask for it. The coloring is doo-doo because guys, I did this on my school laptop, which was meant for, as you probably guessed, school. So it didn't exactly have the best coloring accuracy.
It's okay. This is still one of my favorite fan art I've received.
I appreciate it.
It's so cute.
Oh my god.
It's true. Tell her how cute it is, guys.
I'm good. I
Super
don't
cute. Super cute.
I don't do that style anymore. I'm long walked away from that path.
Oh no, what a loss. No, I'm kidding. No, you've improved a lot since then too. But
Oh,
still,
thank you. I appreciate it.
It was very good, even now.
Thank you. Okay, no, we talk about skeb, which is Japanese side of commissioning artists. But have you looked into vegan? I hate the name of it.
Oh yeah.
The spelling of it, guys, is like this. Hopefully I can. Hi, Rez. Welcome.
I think it's pronounced vegan. Gen is like
Vegan.
Sorry,
I say vegan because the E is like somewhere in there.
it's not vegan, guys.
I'm sorry, it's not vegan. Okay.
You can find meat on it. Yeah, I've actually applied to vegan. Now you're affecting me. I actually did get accepted by VGen, so I actually have a account. I just haven't really announced it because I've been busy. Literally after I got accepted and made my profile, I had to move out of my house for like water damage construction. So hopefully I'm able to open up later. I'm gonna see how it goes.
Oh, are you not approved for VGen yet?
I am. I have an account already. Like
okay.
Yeah. Thankfully, I guess they saw my account and were impressed that I exist. And they decided to approve me.
I was very surprised because I got accepted. Maybe because I applied it like the very last day, but I got accepted like 2 days later. And I was shocked because... No, not because I was good or anything. I was shocked because I was a VTuber, or I am a VTuber account, right? So I'm like, are they scrolling through my passive VTuber stuff to find the art? And then when I finally made the VGen account, I was like, what can I offer people? Because people on that site have their info, right? But my info was like... My info was like, artist, variety streamer, gamer, yeah, VTuber.
That's okay.
I know, but it feels weird like putting myself on there. But like I'm there as a VTuber, not as like an artist as much. So I do want to go back into it.
Too.
What is it?
I think I think you can be a consumer there too.
Yeah,
like not necessarily just like I think my biggest gripe, but at least my first glance at it, is I think a lot of artists there undercharge. Like it's like same problem with scam, like artists in general, especially a lot of beginner artists, or like I shouldn't say that. It's like a lot of artists there in general, they just undercharge. Like they could easily be charging more than twice what they're charging. It's like not even close.
Yeah, I'm not sure if everyone knows what VGen is. So some people don't do art, so I'm gonna link the site to them in the chat. You guys can look at it for yourself. But honestly, the people who make VGen are really hardworking. Like I follow them on Twitter, and they always like, "Hey, you know, we're welcoming a new batch. We're welcoming batch 30 or whatever." And like, basically, they're manually accepting and approving artists, which I think takes a lot of work, as you know, for these sort of things. And they're always out with new UI updates to improve the user experience, with artists in mind first, which is kind of unheard of in a way.
Yeah, it's I definitely think that it's very polished. I think a lot of people who even used to take commissions might also be interested in it because of how polished the site looks.
I scroll a little bit, I see your artwork of my friend on there. Oh ho ho. Any success with it?
No, I haven't
I mean, it says open here. It's open though. Hey guys, if you wanna commission Elleran, his start from $40 for his sketch and $180 for his colored dye up characters.
I'm gonna raise my prices. I'm gonna open it right now. That's like a direct type. The reason why I was actually interested in VJ in the first place was because it allows artists to do scab type commissions,
Yeah.
even as a Western artist. Oh, I should also clarify, scab, to open an account there, you need a Japanese bank account.
Yes.
So if you're not Japanese, you can't open. All right, let me rephrase. If you don't have a Japanese bank account, you can't be an artist on scab.
Mm-hmm.
That's like only Japanese people are there.
Yeah. So you can commission people. Anyone can commission the artist on Scab, but to be an artist selling commissions, you have to have a Japanese account. Just like what he said. I'm just going to clarify because I hope that people can understand you through your warbled speech.
No, sorry.
It's all good. It's all good.
That's better normally.
I swear, this is like the one unfortunate instance where he didn't have a mic on him. Every day he has his mic, but today in particular he didn't have his mic. That's all good. I
knew I was doing an interview with Jueri, the VTubers, so I decided to do my best radio phone-in impersonation.
Honestly, I offered him to I can do like a radio style. I'll purposely warp my voice filter just to match you so you don't have to feel out. But he was like, no, Jueri.
No, that'll be bad for the viewers. Don't do it.
No,
don't bring yourself down to my level.
No, don't see your level. We're all equal here, aren't we?
I'm in a hotel lobby. Use my phone for the microphones.
Yeah. I really do like the Scab style kind of commission. I mean, it's not too different from like regular commission because you get like tipping at the end most of the time. But I think the idea that you don't need further communication from the client just offers that sort of flexibility for the artists themselves. I think commissioning art has always been the sort of consumer-focused process. That most of the times artists tend to be the one getting scammed or hurt in the end. But I like seeing that VGen is helping sort of prioritize artists at the forefront of it. What is Scab? What, Rez? We explained what Scab was. You're gonna have to watch back up the VOD. Thank you for the view, by the way. Thank you. It's all good. It's all good.
It's a Japanese commission website.
I actually personally have not looked at VGen to commission artists quite yet. I do like it as a browser directory, but I think what more likely what's gonna happen is that I'm gonna look at it and then I'm gonna go to Twitter artist DM and then message them. I don't feel comfortable personally working through the VGen website by itself.
What's your gripe with it?
My gripe with it? Just no real gripe per se. I just prefer a little bit more communication. I think that the communication happens within the VGen website, right? But I kind of don't feel familiar with it. I just feel more comfortable having an exchange either on Discord or on Twitter. Yeah,
makes sense.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, I haven't done VGen at all, so I have no idea what the communication is or like payments like on VGen. So I can't help you there.
I think the communication for the surprise me / Skeb feature is more akin to Skeb, where you don't have any more communication afterwards. Yeah.
I know some commissioners like I have some friends who like to commission a lot of artists, and they say the same thing about they really like the communication aspect of just talking to the artist about your stuff, but like unfortunately just like communicating they like the humanity behind it. They don't like it being really transactional where just like on Skeb just like send them the reference and then it's done. You don't talk to them ever again. So they like building the relationship between them and the artist. And I've heard that from at least 2 people. So it's a thing. They like the communication aspect of it. Which I also think I can see the value in it too. So I think but yeah.
Yeah, I understand. I'm just thinking about my past experience with artists on in terms of commissioning. And I remember one distinct artist I commissioned, they did like a lot of emoticon uwu talk. I felt kind of uncomfortable by my very business-like manner talking, so I also broke down to uwu talk with them.
Well, I think you're fine. I like being professional in my email, but I think it just has to do with me being used to work.
So you're more professional with your communication artists?
I mean, in anything. When I'm sending people serious messages, I tend to be very serious.
I try to be more comfortable with the person, or try to make them feel comfortable. So what I end up doing is I mirror their speech. I would say
Makes sense.
mix up on purpose and accidentally, but I kind of do mirror their speech. Like even when I message you, it's based on a lot of your style of like humor too. I try to match that. I don't know. That's just how I am.
I get you. I understand.
Mhm.
I feel the same way sometimes too. Like sometimes I'm talking to someone and I'm like, huh, why did I say that? Or like I reflect on my own mannerisms and I can usually identify the source where I pick it up from. I probably picked up some mannerisms from knowing you for so long too. Probably subconsciously.
Have you noticed this? I respect Elleran's professionalism, but I couldn't do that. No, there has to be a little bit of humanity within the speech, you know? And everything's business like all the time, Elleran.
No, you have to use legal lingo.
Alright.
Write a contract on the side.
Oh god.
No, I'm kidding.
I have a little bit of stuff I want to talk about before we wrap up our conversation. But
Sounds good.
in our previous conversation before the stream, we talked about some of your other accomplishments, right? You tend to be very humble about yourself. And so when I ask you what are some of your accomplishments, here are some of the things he said, right? Hitting rank 1 masters in StarCraft 2.
Wow. Actually, I think did I show you the screenshot for that?
Oh yeah, sure. If you want to, go ahead. I have a friend
let me see if I
who
can find it.
I have a friend who plays StarCraft too, so he's around your age, so I guess it makes sense.
Is it Silly Prim?
No, but Prim does make sense too.
Oh really? he loves playing StarCraft. It's one of the main games he plays. He's much better. He's like currently masters.
Oh god, you guys are so crazy. So Elleran's other notable accomplishment include hitting rank 1 masters in StarCraft 2, being the best clarinet player in high school. I don't even want to say
that was a thing.
What? That was a what? Bait?
That was a thing. That was a thing.
Okay, that was a
yes,
thing.
that did happen.
When he told me this, I was like, man.
That's from so
And then
long.
you seemed really upset that I said, man. You seemed really upset by my one word answer, but I can't explain to you why.
Man.
You know...
I don't want to talk about my high school experience. Like high school accomplishments, that's like more 10 years ago, man.
Hey, I know. But is it an accomplishment that you're proud of? It was something that came to the forefront of your mind, so I feel like we gotta mention it at least once. You're proud enough about it that you mentioned it to me, so we're letting people know that he's the best clarinet player in high school. Which is before we were born, by the way, guys. And then, okay, go ahead.
Okay, I can just briefly talk about it. I used to play high school clarinet.
Okay.
The thing is that back when I was in Illinois, we started music earlier, so when I moved to Minnesota, which is where I live now, I was much better than everyone around me. And then, but then I went to college, and in college I auditioned for the school band, and the director was so impressed he actually invited me to play at the music conservatory nearby.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So I played with the orchestra people there. Yeah, I played with them for a couple of years, and then eventually I quit. But yeah, so apparently I was pretty decent.
Oh, okay. Actually, that puts things into perspective. He's not the best player in high school. He's also the best player in college too. So much so that the band director invited him to play at the theater. Right?
At the music conservatory. It's you can apply to music school. So like it was like a music school that was near or next to the college I was going to.
Hey yo, clarinet player, rise up. Okay, no one's just like you.
It was fun. It was a good experience. I think people pursuing music is admirable.
We're not talking about your average clarinet player. We're talking about your advanced clarinet player here. And then his last thing that he mentioned as his notable achievement is completing multiple visual novels. How many?
Yeah, I think I touched on this earlier.
Yeah.
I did participate in 2 different jams. I did a Jueri jam. I think 2 years ago, that was my first project I did. And then last time was a winter jam. It's like the theme was winter. I think I had a month to do it. So I drew. So the first project I worked on, the Jueri jam, I tried to do everything by myself. I did the writing. I did the sprite work. And I also did the CGs, which are like the full screen illustrations that appear throughout the visual novel. And I had someone else do the music and someone else do the coding, but I did everything else. And then I think you guys know Superman
Super,
on
yes.
Jueri server. Yeah, he did the background.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know his background art is.
He's not, but
Oh, okay,
he
okay.
wants to give it a try.
Okay.
So yeah, he turned out nicely. Yeah, so that was the first one, and from that I learned that I shouldn't do everything because I can't handle all that all the work. So the second project I did, which was Winter Jam, which was I think winter 2 years ago,
Mhm.
I did just the CGs, the full illustrations. I had a friend take the sprites. I had someone else do the background. I did too. I just like filtered some stuff. Uh, yes. Anyway, I did. No, someone else did that backgrounds, but they used to filter photos. I think someone else did most of the writing, and someone else helped me with the coding. And the music, I think we just used random, like, what's called like no copyright, free music. So I learned to delegate the rules better and focus on my own thing.
Just to clarify, Rez, he's referring to a friend named who goes by the name Super, aka Superman too. Sometimes, not the actual Superman.
I think it's
just
Superhuman.
yeah.
It's Super or Superhuman.
He goes by the name Super H sometimes. It's a little confusing.
Yeah, with the ancient difference. Yeah.
All right, so I actually I asked this question to Gabe as a wrap up sort of question to the podcast to him. I'm gonna ask you here too, which is
I know what the question is.
you know what the question is? You think? Okay, answer it right now then.
Yeah, I think so.
Go ahead. Do my job for
Okay,
me.
so yeah, all right. Actually, I'll do it.
Okay.
So I'm assuming you're gonna ask about any kind of advice I have for people who are younger.
Yes, basically imparting advice for your younger self, knowing what you know now. Any last words?
Yeah, I think man, okay. I think it's a good idea to work towards something. I think having a goal in mind is something that the earlier you start, the better you're gonna be off later. Because I think people get older and they regret not having started something earlier. So I would say that no matter what you're trying to do, as long as you're enjoying it, I think it's good to set up some kind of a goal to work toward, so that you can shape your schedule and your motivation to continue toward that path. So that otherwise, at some point when you have a goal, you're going to regret that you didn't start earlier.
Do you have any
I think
regrets
it makes more
yourself
sense
though?
when you're older.
No. I'm sure they can understand it now.
No.
Many of them are young or getting into their adulthood. Do you have any regrets by any chance?
I think here and there, I wish that I had focused. Like I feel like I plateaued and just didn't draw much throughout several years. So I feel like my art just didn't progress. I didn't get better, no improvement.
Hey,
Sad,
you can still pick that up and do that right now, or even no need for
Yeah,
regrets, but you
exactly.
can fix
Never
that right
too late.
now.
Right. So nothing irreparable. I think it's just like regrets of not having done the games when I could have. But don't get burned out. Even no matter how much you enjoy doing something, make sure that you're also taking time off and enjoying yourself. I know a lot of people who feel guilty when they're not working toward the goal. I think you can relate with this too. I think every aspiring artist also relate with this, where you feel guilty playing games. You feel guilty when you're not drawing. Like when you're on a trip and you're not drawing, hang out with friends, you're not drawing. Don't be like that. If you're enjoying your time, that's also time well spent. Don't worry about it. You're gonna be fine.
I like that. I have a friend who also says the same quote that if you enjoy your time, there's not time wasted. I like that. All right,
I think
Elleran.
some quote by like Freddie Mercury or something.
I honestly, I kind of had to grow into that kind of quote because I didn't understand it. I was, when you're young and still in school, you're marred by the pressure of everything pushing you to adulthood, getting a job and all that jazz. But I really needed that sort of quote for myself to experience what it means to enjoy my time and not have to feel wasted.
For sure. Even I think almost every day I meet people on animesketch where they're like, "Oh, I can't draw today. I'm gonna be so bad. Like, oh, I feel so guilty." I think you've complained about this in the past too, and I think I have too. Everyone has. I was like, "Oh man, I played games for 2 hours and I feel so bad." Like, don't feel bad. Like, you can't feel bad, but don't let it crush you. You didn't do anything wrong. You enjoyed the time, I'm sure, and you can focus on getting back into making progress later.
Oh, I see. All right. Any last words for the stream?
Elleran.
Elleran?
No,
Oh,
I'm So just heads up, Elleran is the catchphrase that I say because a long time ago when I was on Google Hangout, I used to just greet people by attaching hello to the ends of their names. So I'd be like, Helluary, Jueri,
It's so
thing.
quirky.
And so people start doing that to me. They'll be like, Elleran. So that's where it came from.
Or she's like 3 decades old. Why are you still doing this?
I don't know, it's kind of a catchphrase. It was actually given by Cal Ponton. I think you know her too.
Yeah, I do. Man, I forgot to mention,
yeah.
but Elleran is Korean, guys. That's why he's such a good clarinet player. I swear, them Asians have
I
good
play the
internet.
piano too.
Oh no!
Yeah, I know, it's true.
Too much.
But I don't play tennis. I used to fence.
That's so cool. Why did you tell me this during? Why did you tell me this during a pre warm up call? That's pretty cool.
I used to competitive fence. I got ranked, I think, D. For people that don't care about it, I don't think most people know, but the rating goes from unranked to E, D, C, B, A. But like, until you hit A, it's like not top tier fencing. And after you hit A, that's when like real ranking starts.
Oh,
Like separate national rankings.
Bro,
Anyway.
but fencing is such a cool sport to flex on people. Tennis, I can
Yeah, it's
somewhat
fun.
do tennis. My grandma does tennis, you know? But like fencing, sheesh, that means you are qualified to brandish a sword. Or not really a sword, but they call it
Rapier.
rapier, yeah. Man.
Yeah. with poke. I forgot. It's been so long since I played. I stopped playing it in college at some point. It was fun while it lasted. Anyway, last words. Thanks for inviting me, Jueri. Thanks for the time to talk.
Thank you, Elleran.
And it's cool meeting everyone. I see, Vino's, I think, Elementy X said, OMG Elleran. And then he's sad that the screen's ending.
I'm so sorry, Elementy. Okay. Hope you guys enjoyed the podcast for today. Next month podcast, I have someone in mind. I have 2 contenders, so I have to go check in both of their schedules, see which one works best for them. So we're planning. And yeah. Thank you so much for making the visual novel at the start of your stream. That is insane. I'm so sorry for the person to go after you.
No problem.
When I go poach the person, I'm gonna have to be like, alright, so this is what the person did in the last podcast. You gotta have to top that.
Oh man, it's okay. It only took several hours. Like, because I made visual novels before, it wasn't too bad. I do not recommend doing that for a first timer.
You know, my goal on one of these podcasts is that I invite someone who's a flesh tuber, someone who's like IRL with the webcam stream and they're on the podcast. That's my goal for this kind of podcast.
Oh man, what do you mean? It's not an online persona or an actual streamer?
Yeah, someone who's willing to be on webcam, not like me. I'm in the pixel world. Okay.
Well, I guess I have one comment. But just like for future interview, I think not to you, but like for other people. I think because everyone will introvert probably has some kind of a special skill they like to do or like something they're good at. I think it's a cool idea for people to incorporate that as part of their intro. Like if they're good at music, maybe do something with music, or like I don't know, maybe you're an artist, you can like draw something in the beginning. I think that's what I think will help the intro stand out.
Well, there you have it. Future guests, you heard them, right? If you have any hobby or interest, make sure you incorporate it into your intro. Thank you so much today, Elleran, and thank you guys for tuning in here. This is it for today. See you guys next time. Bye-bye. Bye. Bye.